how to stay full and satiated when you have to stretch out limited food for a week. I recommend having Psyllium Husk on hand. It's spelled Psyllium and then Husk, Husk. What this is it's a laxative, but it's also a fiber-rich kind of colon-cleansing grain. And you have just a tablespoon of it with water, and you have plenty of water. Like I have it in water, and then I have a glass of water that I'm having, because every sip, it thickens with water. It's kind of like chia seeds. It makes a gel-like, thicker liquid, and you want to have plenty of water because it actually can get stuck in your throat. And so it has that warning on the package, which is why it's why I have it, is I am usually pretty scared to even take it. I have it just waiting around. Anyway, but this is I only have to have really a half of a tablespoon, and water, because I have so much water with it, and I'm so full, and it keeps you full for a while. It's a fiber-rich, like people take it for colon cleanses, and they take it as a laxative to help with constipation. And for me, I don't have a laxative effect with it. I think I'm not taking enough for it to be that way. Mine, it just helps my digestion and it makes me feel full. I think it's because I'm not taking an extreme amount. I'm just taking usually a tablespoon or half of a tablespoon. But it has a filling, satiating effect. So it's a way, if you need to feel full and you were running low on food, or if you want to just simply move things along, things that are kind of, if you want to move toxins out of you, move food along that's kind of stuck, because again, it helps with constipation. So have that on hand because it's a filling, fiber-rich thing. And does it taste good? No, it definitely doesn't taste good. It's just completely utility. It's useful. Another way to stay full is limiting your things that bring your blood sugar up and down and fluctuate it. So limit your kind of sweets, refined flour, those kinds of things. Because as pleasurable as those are, those make you hungry more often. So you'll notice this if you have a cinnamon roll in the morning, you'll be hungry. You'll be kind of wanting more sugar all day. If you have oatmeal in the morning with chia, you will be more satiated. Of course, if you have sugar in the oatmeal, it's a little bit of both. You get your sweet tooth and you get the satiation. So that's best. Another thing that's weirdly filling is liquid chlorophyll. Liquid chlorophyll, you just have to have like a fourth of a shot glass of it. Just a tiny little amount. Maybe it's a tablespoon, but I'd say more like a fourth cup of liquid chlorophyll. There's something very filling about that. And it is so good for your teeth and for your entire system. It's good for your blood. It's basically like a concentrated, if you were to have a concentrated salad, because all the green things that we should be eating have chlorophyll in them. And so if you have liquid chlorophyll, you are getting a concentrated amount of those veggies. And what I really like about liquid chlorophyll is it works as a deodorant. Like, you don't smell. Like it does. You have a little bit every day. You don't even sweat. It curbs the sweat, curbs the smell. So if you have an event and you do not want to sweat through a nice dress or a nice top, have liquid chlorophyll, because then you won't sweat and you won't have to worry about if your deodorant works or not, because you just have that internally. You won't sweat. And look it up. This is verified. Anyway, of course, sometimes you may not have time to buy these things for when you're about ready to be in a situation where you won't be able to buy new food and you have to go with what you have. I understand. But these are things that you can have, if you happen to have on hand, they're definitely really substantial. Another thing to do is actually go on a 3-day fast, because I'm about to do that Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So the going on a fast is sometimes easier than trying to stretch out the food that you do have, because once you're in the fast state, you aren't craving food because you're in that zone. You get into a spot where it's not like if you're having things that constantly fluctuate your blood sugar that kind of keep you dipping up and down. A fast, you kind of hit this weird state of mind where you get past hunger, right? At least for a little fast, like a 3-day fast. And of course, intermittent fasting is another great thing to do if you're trying to stretch out food. But if you really want to just think, well, this is like with me, I have to stretch out my food until the 14th because I'm waiting for a check that's held. So I'm taking this opportunity to go on a fast Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so that then I see what that's like, because I haven't done that in a while. And I remember you kind of sometimes have a lot of epiphanies and revelations and creativity. And so I think I might have a lot of really great ideas and just this kind of renewal. So I'm going to see what it feels like, because it's been a while, and it's a perfect way to be forced into it, because and then I thought, well, then that way I can save, because I've been saving this fish that I'm going to have as to really satiate me right in the middle of this before the 14th. So I'm saving that for Monday. So I'm going to have 3-day fast, and then I'm going to have blueberry smoothie, because I have frozen blueberries, the fish, and rice. Because all that I have left in food is basically rice, quinoa, one fish, and some blueberry smoothies. And then I have the Psyllium Husk, and then I have a popcorn. So, and that's another thing I think that's really good to load up. What's really good to have on hand for years, to load up, to always have, to know you have, that's filling, that has fiber, is popcorn. Not microwave popcorn, but the popcorn that's in huge, then you've got that source of fiber. And so I think having rice, beans, quinoa, and lentils, frozen peas, all of those are cheap forms of high quality protein. Another one, it would be couscous, chickpeas. There's varieties, but you go to the dried goods section in health stores and load up on that kind of stuff, so that you feel like, okay, I may be out of freezer meat, I may be out of a lot of things, but I have these fiber-rich grains and protein-rich, like peas are protein-rich. Quinoa is really protein-rich and has magnesium, which is key. So anyway, I think these are all good ways to, okay, I'm going to have to stretch out my food, and I want to feel satiated, and I don't want to have a fear where I eat it all and then there's nothing. So parse it out by establishing a fast in the middle, so that then you have, right after the fast, when you break the fast, you'll know that you're going to have a lot of substantial food, and then you're already kind of eased in. You want to be, it's not as though you're going to be ravenous, or maybe I will be. But anyway, so, and I think in a way, I think it's good to put yourself through this, because it teaches you a lot of body and hunger awareness, that when you're just living in plentiful, constantly having, it doesn't even occur to you. And then oftentimes you're on this kick where you're always having certain things that are very self-medicating, like you're having coffee, you're having you're having sugar, you're having things that are actually keeping you in a very self-medicated, numb, tranquilized state. And when you fast, all that's blocked. Your systems are all able to like, hey, we're gonna like really do some cleanup with the toxins that we've been dealing with, that we can finally like commit to this cleanup in this body, get these toxins out and really work on it. And you get a mental clarity. I get out of that fog. And then when you come out of it, you're so appreciative of the food you do have that you're like, okay, I'm so appreciative of these, like maybe they seem plain, but they're really great grains. And you appreciate anything. You're not just kind of in this 9-to-5 glaze where you just have whatever you want when you want it. You kind of eat, you kind of treat your mouth as a garbage dispense pack. You just put a bunch of garbage in and assume your body will take care of it. You get this awareness of what makes me full, what gives me high quality, long-term energy that's satiating and fortifying for what's really scarce, And another thing I have is, and I did this yesterday. So I don't have eggs, and I don't have, what's the other thing I don't have? I have, why am I not? Okay, so I wanted to make a cake because I have powdered sugar. Oh, I don't have butter, that's it. I don't have eggs and I don't have butter. So I had powdered sugar, I have olive oil, I have coconut flour, and I have almond extract, vanilla extract, molasses. So I was looking at these things, they're called depression cakes. They're cakes people made in the Great Depression when they didn't have eggs or butter, and they just kind of threw everything kind of almost like kitchen sink cakes, so they just kind of threw whatever they had in it. I was trying to find one that had my specific ingredients of powdered sugar, not granulated, and all those kinds of things, olive oil and whatever else. And so I couldn't find that, but I basically saw a recurring theme that putting cold water and white vinegar, like a tablespoon of white vinegar, binds it like eggs, I guess, or it's a possibility to do. So I made this cake, and I basically had I had olive oil, I had I had powdered sugar, I also had cocoa, so I mean I can make chocolate, so it was great. I had actually had quite a few things. I just didn't have those staples like eggs and butter, but I had powdered sugar, olive oil, cocoa, coconut flour. I had almond extract, vanilla extract, a little bit of molasses, because actually how they make brown sugar is sugar with molasses, so it's brown. So I thought that'll add something. And then I had a tablespoon of vinegar, 1 cup of cold water. They specify cold for some reason. Put all this together. I tried some of the dough. I was like, okay, I'm gonna add way more powdered sugar. Add that, put it in, and I put it in the oven about 30-40 minutes, and I made a really great like kitchen sink type of cake. I like the coconut flour, actually. I don't use coconut flour, that's why it's here. So I always avoid it and think it's gonna be gross, but actually I kind of liked it. It's kind of this grainy texture. It kind of made it feel like a substantial cake. I really put too much almond extract, so it's kind of an intense taste, but it was actually really great. Like, the chocolate, it was like a really moist chocolate fudgy type of cake. So you don't need eggs or butter to make that. Like, I was pretty impressed. Like, it definitely tasted more like a chocolatey kind of a little bit on the health food side, but also still, I mean, it's got tons of powdered sugar, so it's not like it's it's not healthy. So it's not as though it's like, it was good. So I made that. Great. Again, but I noticed once I was, like yesterday, all I did was eat that cake. So my blood sugar was insane. and I was wanting to eat more because I was just eating that cake. But then there was another part of me that was like, this cake is also really rich and filling though, because it has this healthy coconut flour. So anyway, you realize when you're in this position, what you get a clarity on, you know, making things out of nothing and realizing how you can satiate yourself. It's really kind of cool, and it's good to put yourself through that to notice what you can rise to do, and you get a little more innovative. You just get out of that kind of trance where you're just used to being having all these needs met, and you get creative. And that's where creativity comes from, is having a problem or seeing things a different way and wanting to find a solution, find a way to express that. So I hope this was helpful.